Hi, everyone. So, first up, thanks for having me on this GCT talks. I'm Sharath. Today, I would like to talk about my experiences uh, and evolution of handling money in our life. So, first, I will start a little bit with my intro, and then we can go on with deep dive into the talk today. Before this, I would like to thank Pradeep and Soumya for having me today here as they coordinate all these activities. So, yeah, so money for most of us, or at least most people, is a boring topic, but hopefully I can make it a little bit not so boring for you today. So, first up, let me tell something about myself. So I was born and brought up in a small city or town called Neyveli. It's in Kallu district. If you remember, there is large lignite mines there for power production. So I come from there. I did my schooling there, and of course, I did my engineering in electronics and communication in GCT. By the way, I'm a gold medalist of 2011 batch. So if you happen to be in the administrative building, maybe you can see my name there. Apart from writing it in my resume back in 2012 or 11, I have not really used it because I know people are as smart as me. So um, yeah, so that's about my college. So during this presentation, there were a lot of nostalgic moments that yeah went through the memory lane and all those trees, the hostel life, the college life, the classrooms. It was it was amazing to recollect all of them and all the conversation, late night conversations with friends. Yeah, when I first joined in 2007, that's when India won the T20 World Cup. So that was, and also in 2011, later it won another World Cup. These things we happened to experience from the college hostels. So that was really amazing, let's say, collection of memory. And after college, I got placed in a company called WAPCO. So I've been an engineer throughout my career, even though I have done a lot of management stuff in the recent past. And about the company itself, a short description. The company makes vehicle control systems like ABS, anti-lock braking system, EBS, all the vehicle control systems for commercial vehicles. Commercial vehicles means big trucks, buses, and similar stuff. So later, a bigger company called ZF bought the smaller company, and now it's called ZF Co. And yeah, this presentation is in my private capacity, right? So the company has nothing to do with. I'm still a part of this company. And somewhere in 2017 or 18, I developed a lot of interest in personal finance. So basically, I felt my personal finance was not going well, so I thought I should learn more on the space. And then it went on to a development in interest about analyzing businesses. So marketing, sales, how different people, different businesses do different, yeah, how do different businesses work and so on. And then somewhen I developed interest in writing, and that's when I said, okay, I should try to write my own blogs. And since I was interested in finance, I started writing about finance in my own blog. Um, it's buildthywealth.com. It's in the description. Yeah. So since last year, I have been actively learning how to blog and all these things. So it's been a very eventful last 5-6 years for me. So all through this journey and learnings, I would like to give you some actionable tips today so that you get to benefit from our experience. So yeah, so before I dive into the talk, I just want to give some definitions of some basic terms around which the whole talk will evolve, right? So the first word that I want to define, or let's say give a clarity about, is money. So we all have some understanding about money, and so basically money is a medium of exchange. We all know that, but there is some interesting fact that maybe you, some of you might know, that is, money is just a promise made by the government or the central bank of any country. For our country, RBI. So if you take any note, a 100 rupee note or a 500 rupee note, there it is written, okay, it is, I promise the bearer sum of X rupees. And then there is the RBI governance signature. So basically you can think of it as just a promise. And the next one is, money is supposed to have some kind of value associated to it. So people perceive it to be a storehouse of value, but in real sense, it's actually not true. So normally, due to inflation, it's reducing its buying capacity. So let's not go into the debate of inflation and why it is going down, but there is a general definition that, okay, it's a storehouse of value, but actually it's not. It's actually its value is actually depreciating over time. So this is something that might be not visible or very clear to many people, but there is something that we all know about money. What is it? So money basically can get you the life that you want. So meaning, if you would like to have a lavish lifestyle, or if you want to live a lifestyle of charity, basically, or you want to live a nomadic life. For example, you want to travel most of the time, money is going to support you there. So we all need money. The only thing is if it's greed or ambition. So when you go through ambition, maybe it sounds positive. If it's greed, yeah, it's negative, right? So that's the basic definition I want to, or let's say baseline I want to establish about money. Now let's come to life. So this word passion is something that you will see in any leadership talk or any motivational talk or any type of personal development forum or blogs or something like this. I used to get annoyed by this word because in the initial years, I really did not understand the word, because everyone says, okay, do only what you love. And that didn't really sit well with me, because I'm good at several things. Therefore, it was very difficult for me to narrow down what makes me exactly happy. So you can see passion as something that the work that you do or a hobby that you do that you are absolutely happy about at the end of the day. So we can see that something what passion is. So it's absolutely true that you have to do what you love or what makes you happy, but most of us cannot figure out from day one. So there are two reasons why people cannot follow their passion or immediately start on their passion. Is one is exposure. So we have not really experimented with a lot of stuff. That could be one reason. The other reason could be money. So let's take my example. So I did engineering from 2007 to 11, but the point was also I had an MBBS seat in 2007. So the point for me back then for the decision was, coming from a very humble background, I thought, okay, we can earn money from in 4 years if we take engineering. We can earn money in 4 years if I take engineering, but if I take MBBS, maybe it will take 6-8 years, right? So I know several other people who took the same decision because of engineering, but I don't regret it. I'm a proud engineer now, so no regrets. But the point I'm trying to make is, after your engineering, if at all your family or you yourself cannot back your family with financial stability, then it's totally okay that you keep doing the job that you half-heartedly or don't 100% love. It's fine. You just build enough money over years, and then at some point you can say, I have enough stability now, and then yeah, now I can go do what I like. For example, you can go on travel, you can go on, you can go write, for example, whatever that you feel. For some people, it could be taking care of home. So it could be anything, right? So that's the point. When can you do what makes you happy? For some, they can do it immediately whenever they feel like. For some, they have to wait it out, grind it out, have some financial stability for their family, and then they start. So if you think about it, if between you and your passion, or you can term it as life. So basically, what is life? For me, it's like living happily, right? For this, you have to do what you are happy doing. So in essence, between you and your happy life, um, yeah, for most of us, it's money that is in between. I'm not talking about a lavish lifestyle, but to build some net so that you can pursue what you absolutely like. So in that kind of context, I said the presentation in the name life, money, and you. So basically, money could be a bridge between you and your uh, dream life. So I want to establish another simple step process about how you can build your wealth. Or I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about building enough wealth for yourself or the financial stability of your family. So how do you do it? It's simple process. We all kind of know it, but we may not be so yeah. It may not be so transparent to us. That's what I would like to tell you. So first, obviously, you have to earn. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a business. You have a shop, maybe some kind of income, um, and then probably you spend it in a sensible way, and so you got something left. So you have to spend less than what you earn. It's common sense. But more and more, I see people are not spending less than their income. That kind of makes me worried. Um, but anyway, so you got to save, and then you probably invest in some assets, and you grow it. And once you have a big fat chunk, you try to preserve them instead of growing them. So it's a simple 5-step process. Maybe there is some details in it, but that's how you basically get to wealth. You need a lot of time for this, of course, 10 to 15 years maybe. But for the context of this talk, let's let me assume it's mostly students and people in their 20s who are going to view this video. I would like to stick to how you can earn more, how you can spend in a sensible way, and how you can save in, let's say, how you can basically be a good saving guy. And for this, we will omit the investment part and the preservation part. So for this, we have to assume, okay, you are already having a job for the earning part. Most of the tips that I'm going to give you will also help you during your college days, but some of them will help you, yeah, when you are in a job or in a mid-level management position or something like this. So let's see how we can earn more. But basically, what is earning more? It's basically improving yourself so that people are willing to pay you more, or your business is growing more because people trust on you or your product. So that's something called increasing your earning potential. And this is the increasing the earning potential is by far the best method to set yourself in a financially good condition in a short period of time, like 5 to 10 years. This could apply if you're even if you're going to do your master's, if you're going to do your MBA or whatever. This should help you. So the first tip or the actionable thing that you could do is invest in your skills. So this is something that at least I didn't get as a message or some kind of advice from from my friends or something like this. I just really wanted to talk about it. So there are two types of skills that you should learn. One is hard skills and the other one is soft skills. So hard skills are basically technical skills that you could learn. Maybe if you are a law student, you learn whatever there is in the law book, right? I do not know what they learn, but just an example. So that's hard skills. Hard skills are mostly binary, you can assume. So you clearly see the difference between 0 and 1. And soft skills are skills like communication. So listening, speaking, reading, writing, presenting, and how you approach other people, how you do some negotiations, how you build up for a negotiation. All those things are soft skills. So how you influence people, how you motivate people, how you inspire people. So those are soft skills. And soft skills is very minute, and let's say it cannot be taught as good as the hard skills, but it has to be cultivated. I have to take some time on explaining the communication part, because this is some of the thing. Communication is the part where we at least lag compared to the hard skills, because we are normally competitive people. So one such example is during my college days, I really was bad at C programming, but I think I didn't fail, but I got very low marks for this, and I really was bad. Yeah, but this is a hard skill. I practiced, and I learned the skill, and it's the same. I believe you guys are really capable of doing it. So assuming that you already can learn hard skills, soft skills is the part that we actually lack. So I will illustrate two instances of my life or in the corporate world where I had negative feedbacks for me in terms of communication. So one is when I started in the first couple of years, I had a really bad speaking thing. That is, I used to start every sentence with the word no, even if I wanted to agree the other person's view. I used to start the sentence with no. That was really made fun of. My colleagues, they told me in a very good way, but also made fun of you, of course. But it was not so hard for me to change this. I changed it maybe in 2-3 months. It took time, of course. But there is other situations where in kind of team meetings and so on, we try to hide ourselves, or so we try to say or give feedbacks much later than at the correct time. So for example, in some meetings, I have seen people not saying no to deadlines or something like this. So these are the things that we should cultivate over time. So therefore, communication is really something you have to work on. So for example, when I studied in GCT, for example, we used to have this mock group discussions, mock interviews and kind of thing. So I'm sure you have much more than that now. But my only point is you have to redo it, repeat it, put yourself in more different situations so that you try to persuade people or give your feedback clearly on your own analysis and so on. And one more actionable tip of how you can invest in your skills is you have got to pick only one skill at a time. It simply doesn't work when you pick 4 or 5 skills at the same time. I have tried it and failed it. That's the reason why I try to give you this important tip. Just pick one skill, try to learn it in 3 or 4 months, and or 6 months maybe. Then in 6 years, you have developed yourself 10 different skills. So that's very important, and this is an important thing that no one shared, or let's say no one advised me in the beginning of my career. So I think this would be handy for you, and this will really help you increase your income over years. And using this word invest, I don't mean investing money, but investing your time, investing your energy. Nowadays, you can literally learn most of the things online. The only thing is you have to be focused. What do I mean by focus here is, um, so people consume educational content every day. People consume very good content every day, but that's not learning. If you are consumed in the randomness of goodness, let's say um, there is a let's say you want to learn data science, right? So if you keep on watching Python, you can watch Python programming, you can watch or learn about R programming language R, or statistics, for example. Or on the same lines, you can try to learn something about machine learning, but it doesn't help if you want to learn about why penguins are going to be extinct, right? It doesn't help, even though it's a good content. I'm just trying to exaggerate, but if the gap between your core skill and the informational content that you consume is very big, then it's not going to help. So don't get consumed into the randomness of good content. Okay, good content is everywhere. So try to be focused. Target one skill. Keep at it. I'm not talking about get up 6 o'clock in the morning, stay till 12. No, not that. Just half an hour, 1 hour every day for 6 months. That should help. You would be miles ahead in 3 or 4 years. I took a lot of time in the slide because this is one of the key takeaway, I think, for this whole speech. So now let's understand another concept, how you can earn more. So you have to analyze the company, right? So analyze the company, analyze the industry that you are going to work for. So just 2 data points for 2 different companies. You have to understand which company will pay you more, right? So in the company 1, you have 1,000 rupees of profit. And then in company 2, you have 1,000 rupees of profit, but you have only 5 employees in the first company, but 10 employees in the second company, which means it's very clear. The first company can provide you more increase in salary, provided all the other parameters are the same. Okay. Now, can you please tell me with another reason why we can opt for company 1? Anyone? Okay, let me tell you. So here it looks like more salary on company 1 is the first thing. So more salary, more increase of salary. But there is another reason, that is, on smaller companies, you can climb up the corporate ladder much faster. So if I have to go into a particular position in a very big corporate, it could take me 15 years, let's say. That is something that you can accomplish in 10 years in a smaller company. So this is very, very important when you choose which company you have to work for in terms of salary. But there are other components, right? You should like the work, you should like the culture, you should like the so I have a question. What if the company does not share profit like a growth company? I'm not talking about profit sharing, but I'm talking about a general sense of if the company can afford you increase in pay. So I'm talking about the company's ability to pay you instead of, I'm not talking about sharing the profit. Okay, so yeah, so the second reason is you can climb up the corporate ladder much faster in smaller companies. So you can have this in your mind. There is also another GCT talk on startups. You can watch that. It is very, very nice by our GCT alumni. So yeah, let's check what other options you have for increasing your earning potential. Read books. Yeah. So this is something people think I'm crazy. I give this advice to everyone I see. Yeah. Last December, I was in India visiting my family and friends. I bought many books for my teenage nephews and niece, and this is something that I will keep on telling everybody. So read non-fictional development books, possibly biographies of great leaders and entrepreneurs. So please let that sink in. This will be very, very useful. If you think about any or watch the speech of any leader, successful entrepreneur, business people, anyone, they will attribute their success to reading books. So it's not any book, but specific personal development books. Apart from knowledge, building confidence, and other things, books will make you humble. It will tell you more and more you read, it will tell you you know very, very less. So that's an interesting part or interesting concept. There are two things that people, let's say, two mistakes that people make, important mistakes that people make when they read books. They don't take enough time to reflect on the ideas explained in the book after they read the book. So just close it, put it, and then take the next book. It doesn't help. You have to make time to reflect on the ideas of the book. The next mistake that they do is they don't try to implement those those ideas in their life. This is very common. It's also a central flaw of our education system. But yeah, just try to implement. If you learn 10 things, even if you implement one or two things in your life, in your job, let's say I read a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Okay, this is a book on relationships. So if I don't inculcate those ideas in my personal life, it's like you don't get anything out of it. So it's just for show off or something like this. So the next skill that could really help you is networking. So again, this is some mistake I did. I had I'm an introvert basically, but I did not build my network enough over the years. But you could do this for your let's say next 10 years and have a big community so that you could fall back on the community or you could contribute to the community once you have so there are some recommendations asked regarding books. Yes, I will definitely give some book suggestions based on the topic. I have some suggestions, of course, coming up. So let's get back to networking. Have you heard about this thing called you are the average of the 5 people who are closest to you? So that's something everyone knows. There is an economic theory around this. The theory goes like this. Your salary or earnings will be something of an average of the 5 people salary who you frequently interact with. So if you think deeply, I did this exercise actually for myself. It came out to be true. Actually, my salary is almost the average of the 5 people I talk to on a frequent basis, right? So how can you improve this is you have to network upwards. Of course, you have to contribute to your other network, let's say community also. What I mean by upwards is not contact the rich person and then connect to them. It's not like that. Connect to people who create more value, who are better than you, and who have similar thought process, but who are better than you. So that's what I mean. It's not about the money. It's about building a relationship with better people. So then you can you will see in few years automatically your circle of friends, they have bigger paycheck. Your paycheck will automatically improve. Yeah. So the other advantage of network could be in case there is some mishappenings in the sense layoffs or something, then your network could really help you. So there is a book on how to win friends and influence others by Dale Carnegie. In this, this is not a book about networking, but it gives you how you can interact with people so that you create a positive influence on them. And this is by far the best method you can network. So networking does not happen just by saying hi, just connect on LinkedIn, and then now I have a network. Now, that does not work. You have to create some value for the others, and without expecting much in return. That's how you build a network. So this will really help come in handy, especially later if you want to develop your own business, or even if within your own corporate, within your own job. If you are in the higher level management jobs, then your network will be really in handy. So you develop network over long years. You cannot develop a good network in very short time. Maybe now it is possible with all the technology, and there is no geographical boundaries, so it's possible on a shorter term, but building trust with your network takes time. So please try your hand at networking, create positive influence and more value to others, then your network will automatically improve. Okay. So develop entrepreneurial mindset. This entrepreneurial mindset is something like a problem-solving mindset. This is what I mean by that. People think you have to have entrepreneurial mindset only if you do your own business. No, nothing like that. Even if you work for others, you still have to bring forward that business. And if you don't have a problem-solving mindset, then you cannot really help that business, which means you cannot move forward. So this would really help you move upwards faster, which means more responsibility, which means more, of course, increase in your pay grade. So the last one I have in my list to have to increase your earning potential is to develop an exponential growth mindset. So this is something I closely relate with the recent developments that has happened in my life. So I can I take more time on this one. So what is exponential growth mindset? It's in a simple term, you can say it as visualizing the compounding effect on your growth or something like this. Basically, you have to think exponentially, not in an incremental fashion. I will give you an example before we dive deeper into it. Okay, why I'm not changing? No. Okay, now. So let me give you this example from our school. We all had this geometric plotting questions. So you will be given an equation, and then you have to plot this point in a graph. And yeah, there are some 10 marks or 5 marks, something like this. Whenever I used to get a linear equation, like on the left side, I used to feel a little bit confident compared to the equations on the right side, like a quadratic equation or a higher level polynomial. Have you ever felt this kind of stuff? Do you remember at all even this? Because this is very important to understand. Any comments on this? Do you prefer a linear equations question or a polynomial equation like the right side? Okay, I personally prefer, or let's say I was happy when I get these simple questions like the linear equations. Um, yeah, if this is not stock market. Okay, anyway, the point is humans cannot easily perceive non-linearity. Okay, so our brain is simply not very much trained to perceive non-linearity. So on the right side you can see it's a non-linear thing, but on the left side it's a linear thing. Even if you change the equation a little bit, x plus y equals -1, or y equals 2, x equals 1, the line, it's going to be a line, it's just going to be either perpendicular or maybe parallel or some kind of diagonal across the sheet, something like this. But the point is, it's linear, therefore I automatically think it's easy. But over time, if you just concentrate on the right side of the charts, if you think about this, whenever you see a quadratic equation, you align yourself to a normal U type of curve, and it's either going to be facing upward, downward, or the left side or the right side, right? So these are the four types of patterns that it could form. So how we did this in our school is we just trained, right? We just repeated it. We just know, okay, quadratic equations are going to be like this. It's just going to face the U is going to face either to the left or the right or the up based on the sign on the polynomial equation. I don't want to get too detailed in this. The only point I want to convey is humans cannot perceive nonlinearity easily. So with that example, let's just go to the next graph where I really explain about exponential thinking. So this is a chart from Harvard Business Review. This is for this chart is saying, okay, it's for the business. On the x-axis, you have the effort that you put in, or effort that you put in. On the right, on the y, you see results. You can see here, this is how we think normally, incrementally. But if you think exponentially, there could be a phase where you break out. Have you heard of this thing called instant success? I think we hear this often in the cinema industry, that all of a sudden this hero has become so popular, and that's this phase that you see. Suddenly, when you interview that cinema star, then they would say, I have really put in 5 years, 6 years of effort, learning the industry, learning the acting career, learning dance, learning how to emote, how to do public relations. All of this, he would say, I have learned over the years in small steps. And then again, there is a play point where he got the right opportunity, and then immediately it went like a rocket. So it's the same for the business. It's the same for our personal development. So the point here I would like to make is try to develop exponential thinking framework in your life, so that when the right opportunity presents, you have the excellence. You can just grab it, and then you will see your growth going upwards. And okay, this is all fine. At least you try to understand this concept. But your immediate question would be, how do I develop such things? If so, how to develop such a mindset? So the answer lies again in this example of charts. What do you do when you get this question? Is you take 10 15 random, not random, but points, 10 15 points on the x. You calculate the y. Similarly, you have to take 10 data points, that is 10 skill sets that you want to develop. They should be connectable. That is, you should not be learn oil exploration on one day and then next day you go learning about circuit design. It does not work. So you should take 10 points which are relatable. For example, if you're into business, then you have to take marketing. Maybe the next point could be sales, and next point could be negotiation. The next point could be something in finance, something like this, right? You should take 10 points, give each of them 3-4 months, and then you just connect them. So that's how that's how you go through this phase. A part of this phase would be your patience and confidence. But once you do the skill building for the first 2 points, your confidence would really boost. You would really have a lot of confidence. But maybe the patience part is what you have to develop. But that's a discussion for another day. But that's how you build it. You build it in small steps. Okay, now I have explained a lot of things about how you can increase your earning potential. Maybe little bit too much, but let's go about how you can save money during your in your professional career. Since we all come, I assume most of the students here come from humble backgrounds. I would assume we all think that we are good savers, but actually we are not. The thing is, it's a kind of a water dam that builds up. So you are being frugal for a long time, and then immediately the floodgates open, the dam is full. You spend a lot of money, unknowingly that you are spending a lot of money because you think, okay, I saved a lot, but now it's time to spend a lot. It should not work that way. If you see the spending pattern of many people, it would be between the spectrum. So either they are miser, which is like they don't spend at all, they hoard money. On the right side, they spend a lot, irresponsible spending or extravagant spending. So on the middle somewhere, you see frugal people. And I believe most of us coming from this background, we are all almost in the middle. But the point here is how you can maintain this frugality is you have to understand the difference between need and want. One example here would be I bought this laptop that I'm currently using to do the Zoom calls. I bought this laptop somewhere in 2013, end of 2013. It was way above my pay grade. It was way above my economic situation, but I didn't have any debt or anything. I had enough emergency funds and so on. So I bought it. People around me immediately knew that I did not want it. I knew it maybe something like 6-8 months later. So it's a MacBook Pro. It still works fine, except for the speaker. But the point I'm trying to make here is generally you should be aware what you really need and what is your want. Want is mostly something that you might not need. Maybe I should have settled for a smaller budget laptop, but you can see it's already working for 9 years now, so maybe I'm forgiven. But you understand the point. Just try to be near frugal, because if you don't spend on some good things or nice things, then life will get very it's not boring, but life becomes very tight. So therefore, try to be somewhere near frugal. That's what I would like to give you. So automation could be another game changer. So just automate whatever you try to save. So I'm not sure if you know about this bucketing system. So what I do practically for the last 5-6 years is we have this 3-4 different accounts. One we use for expenses alone, and one we use for yearly expenses. So one of the things that people forget is yearly expenses. For example, my yearly expense would be to travel to India, visit my family, right? So this is something they don't include in expenses, but you should. Then there is some savings account, and then there is my fun account. So fun account is like for travel and so on. So if you just split it in a percentage on the day one of your salary, then you have sufficient, let's say, it's automatic, so you don't have to think much about it. This will really help, right? And yeah, so let me not talk too much about savings, because we established that we are all from humble backgrounds and we can save a lot of money actually. I mean, we don't spend a lot in unnecessary things. So let me take you to the final section. That is, what are the mistakes that we could possibly do is what I would like to give you. This would really help, because some of them would really save you a lot of money. So yeah. So before we go into that, let us just first think about what is our first salary and what we want to buy in our first salary, because it's a good thing to think about, right? So yeah, as people from humble background, we normally try to buy dress for our parents and something like this on this line. Maybe so I think my wife bought a washing machine for her mom, because her mom, yeah, was not, they were not having a washing machine. And okay, anyway, coming back to the first salary. After first salary, I paid my own owner rental advance. Yes, of course. Um, so after first salary comes the first tax cycle. So what I immediately did was, I did not really explore. I did not really research. I did not ask my office colleagues or someone. I just went and bought this unit-linked insurance policy. So this is very popular. This is sold by all insurance company, but I bought it from the famous insurance company that we know. But the point is, it's not worth it. In real terms, you will have negative returns, and you are tied to it for a long time. At least I saved 2-3 people from buying it in the past 6 months to 1 year. So this is something that you could avoid considering. Avoid buying. Please do explore more about it, but just in my opinion, it's not worth it. Just don't buy it. By far, this is one of the biggest mistakes. Not having a health insurance plan for my parents, especially after I migrated to Germany. So I came to Germany in 2015. So until then, I had this corporate benefits that I had in India. But thankfully, I did not have any mishappenings during the period where I didn't have a health safety net. So what you could think of is, if you're a student, you could go and check within your family if they have enough health insurance. If they can afford it, yeah, please consider some expert opinion and check how you can deal with it. Yeah. So I have a comment: in investment and insurance are different products. Unfortunately, most don't understand. Yes, that's true. But so coming back here to health insurances, if you can afford, if your family can afford it, please buy it. But once you are in your job, if you have to buy it, if your corporate insurance is not sufficient enough, if you think it's not sufficient enough. Okay, next is, do not buy on EMI or BNPL. So BNPL means buy now, pay later. So I'm not talking about the high interest that you might pay. It's not about the interest, or you might even get cheaper deals in EMI and BNPL. But the point is, it becomes a habit. So the BNPL companies and the credit card companies exactly know this. So that's the reason why they offer some maybe discounts or some offers around this EMI plans. So therefore, you have to be aware that you are becoming addicted. It's not addiction, but it's a habit, more of a habit. I know people, they buy product one, maybe it's a TV, maybe a 75-inch screen TV, and then they buy it on EMI, and they have some more room left. I mean, some more money left in from their salary, so they buy the next product, maybe a grinder or a washing machine in EMI, and and then what happens is, on a cyclical basis, even though they don't want any product, they go and buy the next product because the first EMI is done. So you have a buffer of another 2,000, 3,000 rupees maybe. They want to put this into another EMI and buy another product. So this is really a habit forming behavior. Fortunately, in my close circles, people don't do it. I have also not done it, but I have seen other people do it. I mean, in my second circle and third circles, I see people really doing it. Please don't go for EMI based products. If even with my laptop, I just told you my laptop story. I really didn't need it, but I bought it in cash, which is kind of yeah. You know this கெட்ட நேரத்துல ஒரு நல்ல நேரம் அப்படின்னு. So similar to this. So I was lucky that I dodged it, but please be aware that this is some kind of dangerous habit. Again, this is something I told you already. On a personal level, I did not really invest in a lot of skills in the initial years of my career. One thing that you can do is the companies itself provide a lot of so not investing in health skills is one of my mistakes during my initial years. I spoke about it. One of the things you could do is, in the corporate world, there are a lot of trainings that the companies provide. There is a lot of budget that they have. So always try to get some trainings done, certifications done. So this will really add up over time. So here again, time investment is another point. So it's not only about money. So money part is also taken care. Once you have a job, they will train you. So don't think once you got the job, everything is settled, which I thought. I was naive enough to think when I was 21. So this would be my last thing for you, let's say tip for your good financial health. That's do not follow influencers blindly. This includes me also, or anyone gives a talk. So this means you bought into some logic from the person, and you say whatever the person offers to say, right? This should not work. I personally follow a couple of financial influencers, but the point is, I have never, or I was fortunate enough to think on my own terms, and I have dodged many mistakes that people have committed following the person, but I have also watched that person, but I have not committed that mistake. The meaning is, you should form your own opinion. This is very, very important. Some people call it original thinking or something like this, but the point is, you should always think in a contrarian view and check if the contrarian view also stands good. That will really make you knowledgeable. Following others, getting a lot of analytical data points will not make you knowledgeable. Thinking for yourself will make you knowledgeable. So let's take one example. If you want to learn data science, and you follow a couple of influencers there, educators there, then it's quite possible that some nerd will say this guy is not doing it correctly, or because it's binary, right? You can say if the particular concept will work or not. So it will be some kind of called off. But in case of finance, the point is, you will know it very late. By then, it will be you would have lost a lot of money. This single slide will save you a lot of money, actually. Don't follow anyone, even me. If it makes sense, you take it forward. If it doesn't make sense, yeah, it doesn't matter. You just don't have to listen to me. So it has to make sense, and it has to work for your personal situation. With that, I go to my final section, what you students or your people in your 20s can do. I just split it into two portions, one on the finance side, one on the skills side. On the financial situation, you have to check, or it's, by check, what I mean is you have to know what is happening in your home, because that's the reason why they educate you, right? You for at least in my home, that was the case. They thought my education is the future for our family, which actually it is. And for the same reason, you have to check the financial situation also. Just check, don't judge, just check what is the income, or how the income is happening, what are the things that we spend on, and so on, right? Similar, something like this. If your family does not have a health insurance, and if you can, I mean, the family can afford for health insurance, please definitely buy a health insurance. The health related costs are just skyrocketing. So there is no second thought about it. Say no to EMI, for the simple reason it's a habit forming habit forming it's habit forming. Once it becomes a habit, it's very difficult to get away from this. So the next thing is about how you can develop your personal front is, like I said, I would talk about reading books to whomever I want, whomever I talk to. So forgive me on this topic, but reading books will give you a lot of perspectives, especially biographies of entrepreneurs, successful leaders. If you're starting new, you could think of this book called Shoe Dog. The book name is Shoe Dog. It's written by Phil Knight. He's the founder of the company called Nike, the shoe company. The interesting part about this is my wife does not read business books or some personal development books, but she reads a lot of books. But the point is, she likes Shoe Dog a lot. This means it's a kind of biography, right? You go with the story. So this could be a very good starting point for new readers. So the next book I have is The Ride of a Lifetime. So I have all these books here. It's just not mounted on the wall. So The Ride of a Lifetime is the book written by Robert Iger. He's the former CEO of Disney. So he retired, but this is very, very good business book. But if you are a slightly advanced reader, you have read a lot of books, then maybe you should read Made in Japan. The book name is Made in Japan. This is the story of the founder of Sony. That his name is Akio Morita. So pronunciation is, maybe I'm right or not. Akio Morita is the founder. So that's a very good book. And then Improve on Your Skills. We talked a lot about this. So improve on your skills. For example, I saw someone who designed this poster. I saw he's a mechanical engineer, if I'm not wrong. So it doesn't matter in your college days. You should explore different things. In fact, in my office team, there are a lot of mechanical people who are very good coding, who have very good coding skills. So you have to be a little bit diverse. And college is the only place where you can experiment a lot. You have a lot of time for this. So improve on your skills. Think about a realistic salary that will make you happy. This is very important point. That this is a big sentence, but the short sentence is manage your expectations. So when in 2011, I was either naive or had very low expectation. I thought 25,000 a job and I am settled. This was my thinking in 2011. But yeah, your lifestyle goes little bit. Lifestyle expenses goes up, especially if your family is becoming big. So it's good that you have realistic expectation while you aim for bigger things, right? So just have a mental calculation based on what is reality. So improve your focus. In a way, I'm happy that this whole talk is for 1 hour, because the focus time is normally deteriorating. Even for me, it was very difficult to focus for a long term, lot of time. So the thing is, try to improve your focus on a shorter period also, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and also for a longer period also. So stay focused on what you want to finally do. Yeah, so that's kind of ends my presentation. I just want to give one quote, my favorite speaker, Jim Rohn. You can binge here his whole talk. He will mesmerize you with his talk. So learn how to be happy with what you have. So this has really, really stuck with me. And this is actually what I'm following on a day-to-day basis. So for the last few years, this has been my life motto, actually, to say, with what you have, but you have to pursue what you want. So that's kind of realistic. It's kind of balancing act. So I wish you had a lot of value from this talk. I would really like to thank all the organizers, and I would be happy to take questions. Thank you for listening.
Hey, Sharath.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharath. Yeah. Do you want to say something? You had something to say before we conclude?
I thought I missed some question. I'm just going through it.
No, that was a comment actually. So it was more
okay,
like you were saying about the book recommendation. So we're just, I was also reflecting some of the books that you said and how it has actually touched our life. So we have a couple of questions. So before we wrap up, and we also have a separate session that is, scheduled to have, plan to have after this recorded session. So so you talked about, like, a realistic salary, right? So I wanted to touch on that. So what is a realistic salary in your perspective? When you start your career, it depends on where you live and all those conditions, right? So what is an economic standpoint? So should the students understand how the economy is when they graduate, and then they set their expectations? So what is your take on that?
It's realistic. Okay, mostly you have to analyze the industry. So there is always a benchmarking for each industry, and of course, I think someone gave the comment. It has to be also region specific. So of course, in India, right now the salaries seem to be high. I mean, based on the inflation adjusted points, I think it's quite good even for freshers. I cannot put a real number to this, but what I can say from 2011 experience, right? So back then, the average salary for IT services company was something like 3.5 lakhs, 4 lakhs, and then very high, let's say, highly profitable company in terms of unit economics. There is a term called unit economics, which is what I explained in the comparison between company 1 and company 2 slide. So if a company can provide, provide you more salary, search about the company. If you don't get into the company on the first go, it's fine, no problem. Just give it more time, and then you can switch. So in a 10-year window, if you switch 2 times, you can easily grow your income to 2 times, 3 times compared to the first one. I see a lot of advertisements that, okay, in our college, people had 1 crore package, 1.5 crore package. It's all okay, but you have to know the percentage game. There is only 1 or 0.5 percentage that can have this, and all the 90 to 95 percentage have to stick to the industry standard. So for our period, it was like 3.5 lakhs. That was the industry standard for IT services. Some people got a very handful, right? In our college, something like 500 students are there, and let's say only around 20 people got more than 5 lakhs, which means if you get a 5 lakh package in my time was a very good package. So similarly, you have to analyze what is the current trend, what are the companies that are available. If you are not satisfied with it, just approach outside the campus, off campus also. If you give it a shot, maybe it will work.
Yeah, thanks for that insight, Sharath. And of course, that resonated to my thought process when we graduated back in 2008. The base salary was 3.5, and it didn't change much. Even now, the service companies are still offering somewhere around 4.5. It was not even, shit to inflation.
It's the same unit economics that I spoke to you. Yeah, I can talk about this topic much more detail, but I think that stands.
For another day, Sharath.
Yes.
Definitely, we have to talk more about economics to the students. So that would, help the students to be in a better leverage position when they think about their placements, and to understand what is the realistic expectation that they should, because we didn't have that kind of knowledge when we graduated. We didn't have enough people around to guide us, but since now we have a lot of people to guide us, and I definitely think that your expertise and your learnings would definitely help the students to be more informed when they make those critical decisions. Any other questions from the audience, from the GCT Talks crew? There are no questions. We can call it a day, and then Sharath, will be connected. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot again for this